All right, I think we're here. We're ready for the Spanish Grand Prix review. It was fine. It was all right. I enjoyed some bits. I enjoyed so much of it. It was so good. Don't worry if you're not a Lewis Hamilton fan. Don't worry. I mean, worry a little bit. Worry a little bit. It's a loaded panel. This, by the way, is the pre-bit of the show. This doesn't go out as a podcast, so just on the bottom bit in the description, if you're watching it back later, you can click on the timestamp that Uncle Steve puts there. You can hear me, right? Yes. And that will take you to the start of the episode. Hello, we've got Sound and Vision. Hello, Steve. Hello, Chris. Samantha, Mark, Ben, all in our Patreon live chat. We've also got the YouTube chat open. It's not... Alex made me do it. Just be nice. It's not going to happen all the time. If we can do it occasionally or in certain types of shows and we're not getting abuse, then, then maybe. But history says that this is a terrible, terrible idea. It's Alex Van Geen's idea. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Spanners.
Oh, yeah. Let me turn the volume up on you. And Matt's here. Matt's here as well. Hello, Matt.
Hey there, Spanners.
Hi. Why have you done that? Why have you gone, hey there, Spanners? Why?
Because I blew my voice out last night shouting at my basketball team, and so I've got that extra. I got a couple of extra low notes to play with.
Me and Alex probably have similar issues as well. You're the only one not wearing a Hamilton stuff, so you can be the voice of reason, I guess.
Okay,
Alex. How are you doing? That's a nice shirt, but you are looking less fat. So does that mean I can't wear some of the shirts I bought when I was bigger?
I'm halfway through a regime which involves eating properly and doing lots of exercise, and then it's very, very strict. So thank you for noticing.
Oh, no, of course I'm noticing. The main reason I noticed, Alex, is because you send me naked pictures of yourself very, very often.
I do.
Yes, you do.
I mean, they're not quite naked. Matt's going to be very disappointed because he's not in our special
group.
You're
not in our fatties group because you've
never been fat. You've always been a stick figure.
You're too beautiful to be in that group, that support group of hello everyone. I'm Spanners and I'm a little overweight. So, confessional, isn't it? Since our last meeting, I've had 2 Kit Kats, burger.
I've had no Kit Kats.
No, I legitimately will only tell Kyle things because he won't spill the beans. But yeah.
Oh no, Kyle. Kyle's a blabbermouth. He tells us all your personal stuff.
I think Kyle's very high on life at the moment. We've had some very interesting videos from Kyle, who was at the Grand Prix.
Well, I think you're just a bad judge of character at the moment because you, before the call, called me unhinged because you'd listened to my silly Saturday. Squirrel! Silly Saturday. I did actually promise myself I wasn't going to say squirrel today. in the Patreon chat, there's squirrel pictures coming up. I've had hundreds of people send me squirrel pictures or because I said, basically, I would only be friends with people who would be as easily distracted by the appearance of the magnificent appearance of a squirrel as me. And it has resonated with people. Honestly, people are like, this is a good philosophy. People
the ADHD
agree.
Is strong with us.
Is that what I'm saying? And so, was it on The Ringer? I was on The Ringer with Meg, and we were talking which drivers would pass the squirrel test. And then they posted that on their Instagram. So their professional account. I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right. And
it would be Lando. It would be Kimmy. Not Max. He wouldn't care about
Albon for sure.
I don't think Lewis.
No. James Vowles was my most outside pick. Because I think he would switch from corporate grown-up boss to squirrel very quickly.
Liam Lawson.
Quickly. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, of course.
Liam Lawson.
Sorry, I didn't think we even needed to mention Lawson. But I showed Ivy that video. She went, Dad, are you just diagnosing mental conditions of driver? I'm like, oh, I didn't realize. If I am doing that, I didn't realize, but it tracks. It totally tracks, but that's fine. But yeah, is that the thing that was unhinged that you were saying about just the squirrel stuff?
It was an interesting hour and a half of Spanners.
Was it an hour and a half? Oh my
It
God!
was interesting. When I looked at it, I was like,
or did it just seem like an hour?
No,
and a half?
I saw it pop up. And I'm like, Spanners has done a review of the qualifying. Oh, it's an hour and a half long.
It was
bearing in mind, when it comes to qualifying,
nothing happened.
One interesting thing happened.
Oh no! I was in such a.
Sorry. Two interesting things happened. Leclerc crashed and Lewis got second place.
Yeah, I was definitely like in a mood. I was in a certain frame of mind. I was. Like,
you seemed happy, which is.
I'm very happy.
It's better than you sitting there with a whole bunch of alcohol going, rubbish.
Yeah, I had
someone I don't like is winning all the races. Help me.
And but I wouldn't like normally. Yeah, I was talking about my alcohol beers quite a lot, and the reason was because I had a can of real beer. I'd been enjoying a couple of alcohol-free beers, but I put them in my tankard before going. Oh no, I'll have a real one. But then I had nowhere to put the non-alcoholic beer that I'd already put into the tankard. So I was having to quickly drink. I was having to drink my way out of the zero beer tankard beer to make sure I could put real beer in.
I mean, the show would have been about 45 minutes shorter if you hadn't, with all the pauses. There was a moment you put up the chat from Discord and didn't say anything. Oh, I'm wandering around Tesco's with you in my ears,
oh,
no! and I'm like. What's happened? I had to get my phone out to check that I hadn't paused the stream by accident.
I wasn't thinking.
I know he's just sitting there drinking while showing the Discord.
Man. I forgot that people would listen to a YouTube video, but yeah, of course, some people they consume that content on YouTube.
Because I was listening to it in the car, and then I just took it into Tesco's with me. So.
Yeah, this is what I realised is I'm not a streamer. I am a content creator. I'm a podcaster, and I don't really know how to do streaming. I just stream every day, and I've not learned. I stream 3 times a week, and I haven't learned.
Sorry, in the chat, Dominic's Coxford on YouTube chat. Maybe Leclerc saw a squirrel in qualifying.
Oh, he wouldn't pass. No. No, Leclerc is more of a warrior poet than a squirrel. You know, if I said there's a squirrel there, Charles, I think he would say yes, but. Isn't it better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war? And then I'd be like, oh, that's a good point, but I am looking at the squirrel right now, Charles.
Okay, they're now talking about types of squirrels.
Are they behaving in the YouTube?
They are, for now, behaving. Because they have the chat, you have to realise this is a privilege that we are testing out that is my responsibility because I asked for it.
Alex has brought this.
So if you let me down... You let you all down. It will never happen again.
You'll be letting yourselves down. You'll be letting Van Gene down. It'd be a whole thing.
You're representing me.
But basically, that break came around when I'd finally consumed enough of my zero beer to fill the tankard up with the real beer I got, and I was like, well, do you know what? What, I can't have a break? What, you don't have a break at work? You don't stop at the service station? You don't put your trumpet down? I can have a break. So during that break, I was like, right. Discord, take the wheel. I put the chat up there, and I was drinking my tankard whilst looking at the comments. And I said I would play any voice note that anyone left, and they were all people yelling "squirrel," which was kind of good. I was saying you look slightly less fat, which is great, Alex. I like that. Me, you, and Lewis. I think we've looked at the hairline and we've gone. Well, there are options now. Lewis has clearly gone and had a surgery thing, hasn't he? He's gone and had
he went for a phase of not having much hair at all, and now he has all the hair.
Yeah, but I think...
But he's still very particular over it.
No.
He takes it all off, he covers it all.
Yeah, because I feel conscious, and mine's not too bad at all. I feel conscious that it's going back. Like, you must feel conscious, Alex. I mean, really, you really must feel conscious.
The only time I feel conscious is when I'm generally in one of Brad's videos and he catches a video from the back of my head. I'm like, Brad, no!
Because you don't see the back of the head, do you?
This is why Brad wears a cap all the time.
Matt?
I feel very excluded from this conversation.
Yeah, you're very hirsute, aren't you? You've clung on.
You're very Rod Stewart.
I've been told by hair people that, like, yeah, it's gone back a little bit, but it's not really going to go. Like, I'm not going to go bald, and I'm not going to get the bald patch or whatever. But I miss, when I'm combing it, and it's when the hairdresser does a comb over for you, and you go, oh, I didn't even ask for a comb over. You just like, go on.
I have to go back to squirrel. Just for a brief second, because somebody just mentioned in the chat we also need more Germans trying to say squirrel. So I have a story about this. A good friend of mine who who's the one that roped me into all the flight simulators, is a German guy called Nick. I have a voice note somewhere. I was supposed to go find it and I forgot, of him and 4 of his mates all trying to say squirrel. It is the funniest 30 seconds of audio note I've ever heard in my entire life.
If you are a German in our patron chat, please now use the voice function. You can do it on your phone and try and say squirrel. So my favorite thing, and the very reason why our sound check is purple burglar alarm, is because Scottish people are incapable of saying purple. It's the funny. That's why I do it. And,
I have one of my Scottish mates. I get him to say curly whirly, burglar alarm.
Scottish, silly Scottish people. Burglar alarm. No. Yeah, this is pre. Oh, I'm looking at the YouTube now, and no one is. Spanners, you're wrong. Oh, that's it. Shut it down. Somebody said I was wrong in the YouTube chat, Alex. You know I only want...
Oh, God, guys, don't do this. We know how sensitive he is.
You know I only want confirmation and constant praise. My goodness. I'm happy but sensitive at the moment, Alex. You know I can be a sensitive soul anyway.
No.
It's starting to sound like an Alanis Morissette song.
I'm happy but sensitive.
Isn't it ironic? No.
Since the ADHD... The ADHD drugs really help with the OCD and the ADHD symptoms. However, with that gone, it has brought some other things to the surface. So there are other traits that I need to go and see the doctor about as well. But anyway, one of those is RSD. It's like this social rejection something. And so I get very like, so I can't handle any social embarrassment, or I did something wrong. And then I feel
social
like
dysphoria.
Yeah, something like that. Like, oh, I was an idiot. Everyone hated me. And I'm in the worst job for someone who has that. Because like people call me all sorts of names all the time, and it's like, oh yeah, I have to disassociate that from real life. But if I feel like, oh, I was a bit much, or I accidentally said a rude thing, or like I called someone a name and it was just someone else of that ethnicity, but that kind of thing. No, I want to crawl in a hole and die. And I can't watch. That's why I can't watch the grid walk, because I look at that and I get those feelings straight away. Yeah,
like the secondhand, like the embarrassment thing.
Yeah, secondhand embarrassment.
My daughter would refuse to watch anything that involved people being in that situation for the longest time, because it was so cringy to her.
Yeah, well, I've been really looking into RSD. On my wife's recommendation, whatever that thing is called. Whenever I read about it, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, okay, well. That's a thing. Like, I just can't handle any thought that people would think I was being a knob or whatever. And lots of people online think I'm a knob. So it's like, oh no, it's like this constant barrage. Maybe I've got like desensitized to it.
Yeah, online perhaps, because you do sometimes open the door for people to argue with you.
No, that's outrageous.
In ways that will not be healthy for anyone. Yeah.
No, my job isn't healthy for anyone. So going to Alex's point, that Saturday thing where it's just me and I go on the mic, and Matt won't have listened to it, but Alex will have. My main thing is I don't have any adults in the room, and also I don't have to be the adult in the room. So now that Alex is on, like, I have to be the adult. You're on the Christian scale. You're about 0.8 on the Christian scale.
Yeah, I'm not quite there. I'm not quite Christian. I'm just behind Antonio.
Also, though, you're not malicious, because Christian is malicious, because he'll be like, he'll be just well behaved enough that I let my guard down, and then boom, like what was he going on about? Oh, do lobsters think that fish are birds? Do they think that fish are flying? Do lobsters look up and think that fish are flying? And I think we were talking about pit lane speed limits at the time. And you just go, whoa, this is exactly. Yeah, you're not malicious. Where Antonia is completely
too nice.
Antonia is completely aware of what she's doing. And when you catch her in the wrong mood, but there are grown-ups.
Antonia has smacked all of us down on live shows with no remorse.
She's formidable, and it's no less harsh in real life either. She lives not far away, and so we met her at a pub, and I turned up. First thing she said, like the very first thing, is the color combination of my clothes and why it's wrong. Just in front of like 6 or 7, I'm like, oh.
Thanks, young person.
Yeah, I was relatively proud. I'd got dressed. I'd worn a light jacket, unzipped, because I've got less of a belly now. So you can do the whole thing where it's a jacket, but it's unzipped, and you're like, oh. Whereas you do that before and your belly's just poking out of it. I was feeling rather handsome, if I'm honest. No, Ranko immediately just tears it down.
It's like Eric Cantona and fishing trawlers.
Oh, the famous quote from Eric Cantona, who was the French midfielder.
I know who Eric Cantona is. Oh, sorry, the other people don't. My apologies.
Well, welcome to content creation. You'd be awful on the radio.
You mean it's not just us three?
You would be awful on the radio.
Welcome to Geensie's thoughts finally catch his mouth.
What if we do a podcast, but like we don't have anyone listen to it? A conversation. It's called a conversation. Yeah, he said he was talking about the media attention, and he said, when the seagulls follow the trawler, it is because they think fish will fall from the back of it. And he's basically saying that people were like feeding off of his media presence and stuff. He was calling everyone bottom feeders.
He went through a phase of being brilliant content.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
similar. Like,
brilliant.
I hate that Alonso has abandoned his whole samurai thing. Like, come on, that was pretty neat. He used to like quote.
You should have just stopped. I hate Alonso. It's fine.
He went through a phase of like just like quoting like samurai philosophies and stuff. And I thought it was pretty cool because it's like posting a meme of like a famous, a thing, a feeling, and it's on a background of like flowers and a mountain or whatever.
Haiku.
No, it's like when you
Kimmy
post
did a book
meme,
of haikus, didn't he?
Did he? Kimi
Apparently
Räikkönen.
I swear.
Oh,
Kimmy
you're
did a
right.
book of
I think he
haikus.
did. Like
Nice.
back in the 12, 13, maybe even before. Somebody did. Yeah, for sure.
Kimmy's book of haikus.
I
Kimi Räikkönen haiku collection. Oh my god, £282 on eBay.
Wow, I didn't know. I
Wow.
didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that happened. Anyway, hello to the
Sorry.
new people joining the chat. We've got Sean in, Pete, Samantha, Ben, Mal, and what's that? Mal, Candiza, Uncle Steve is in there. Chris G, who I feel like I'm going to argue with at some point today. I saw your comments earlier. Eric as well, and I guess we say hello to YouTube, the YouTube people too. Hello, Colin, Janie, Nebs. There's loads of people here. What's going on?
Nebs, the joy in Spanners' voice as soon as the pre-show began.
Well, I'm just happy. Like you said, I'm happy. Well, we were going to get the real show going, like in a sec, real shortly. But yeah, I am happy. And that Saturday thing, there's no grown-ups for me. There's no experts like Matt or whatever, and or like Vincenzo, who like, I have to listen to their learned opinions, and Matt ruining everything with stupid facts. Oh, well, have you considered this fact? No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I liked feeling correct. You ruined it. The Saturday one is like, hi, everyone. I haven't prepared. I don't have any evidence. I don't have data. This is just purely just me having a chat. And actually, like, I didn't stream it before because I was scared of getting it wrong or like pausing or whatever. Like I said, I'm not a streamer. But I've now got to the point where all but for one tankard break, I did do like an hour and a half talking just like, well, So it turns out I can do that, which I don't think any human should be able to do that. I think that's a skill that's alarming. This is like, you don't want that skill. So I can talk for an hour and a half by myself in a room. Why?
I mean, it was astounding.
It's like a party trick, isn't it? How long can I... What's that thing in America where they stop laws going through by speaking continuously?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
No, there's a specific like...
No. I know there's a name for it, but you just asked the older person here
Yeah, I know.
on almost
It's like,
no sleep
it's like
for the name of the thing.
jumble-wazzing or something. Oh, I'm going to jumble-wazz all this. Someone's going to say it straight away. I jumble-wazzle.
It's from the Senate. I just got to look it up.
Yeah.
Got to look it up with the computer.
But filibuster. Thank you, filibuster.
Thank you. Yep, that's the one.
Definitely feel like I could filibuster. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to do the spinny car. I am saying I am suffering at the moment because of the dosage of my medication has gone up. If there's a pause, it's just because I'm just dealing with like how it's making my face feel right now. Alex, if you want to sing something, do you want to sing the national anthem?
No.
Should we sing the national? Should we open the show with the national anthem? I think we should.
We can't show any British bias.
No.
To the three Brits that were on the podium today.
My favorite thing was learning that a song we were all taught back in the day in our little chorus classes we had to take in elementary school was actually your national anthem also.
Nice. That's really
Same
interesting.
tune, different words.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah. No, it's used.
okay,
It's actually
yeah.
used in quite a bunch of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's very drony. I do not like the anthem. It takes a long time, and everyone always sings it at different paces, and everyone sings it, at different. Yeah. Like, don't start your anthem like that. It's like, we just.
Well, the discussion we had when the podium was going on today was that my wife, mostly because of Formula One, knows lots of random national anthems. But it's like she knows the German national anthem and the Italian national anthem because through most of her childhood, watching F1 with her dad, it was Schumacher on the podium every single weekend.
Because I was feeling super patriotic, I when the anthem came up, I like fully stood up, and I was like, I stood up, and I made my son stand up. He saw me stand up. He was like, oh, I guess we're standing up for the anthem. I was like, and we are. And
we are standing up for Sir Lewis Hamilton.
For Sir Lewis Hamilton and the King. Thank you. And then, yes, thank you. You don't salute without a beret on. That's sacrilege. When it finished, I went, oh, yay, the Italian anthem's next. Good, because that's actually a good national anthem. All right, here we go. Here we go. Spinny guy, here we go. No, Sean, I do not stand to attention. I stand casually at ease. I'm stood easy with my hands in front, not in a soldier position. I stand like a respectful civilian. You are listening to Missed Apex Podcast. We live F1. Welcome to Missed Apex Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Reddy, but my friends call me Spanners. So, let's be friends. Today, we are reviewing the Barcelona Grand Prix, and I do feel like I need to issue a warning. You know, when they say, oh, this is NSFW or may contain flashing images, I think we need to say, those of a Dutch disposition should be aware of flashing British bias. There is a chance of exponentially hyperbolic, Hamfosi rhetoric. So you just need to be aware of those kind of things. And this might happen because Lewis Hamilton won his first race for ages in a Ferrari, and we're pretty happy. The crew are pretty happy. And yes, we are aware that there are 21 other drivers on the grid. Like, I know that. I'm vaguely aware of their existence, and we will talk to them. But I just need to manage your expectations and make it clear to you that we are going to be happy and talking about Hamilton's first win for Ferrari, his third team that he has won for. And yeah, so just know that. Like, maybe skip ahead if you want to get to other stuff, because it's strategy heavy as well. It's been a while since we had such an interesting strategy race. And I know some people were getting bored at the beginning and thought this was going to be a boring race. I had very high expectations for the race. I was telling my friends, you have to watch this, you have to tune in. And then sort of, there's no crashes at the beginning. And it looked like the first stint maybe was less interesting and the second stint was less interesting, but it was definitely setting up the chess pieces for that final move and the final moves at the end. So from start to finish, I found that race very interesting and compelling. And in that strategy race, if I'd have said to you, there's going to be one winner in this strategy war, and it will be Ferrari, you'd have got a fish from the market and hit me in the face with it. And also, we've got the Mercedes drama that's continuing. Charles Leclerc making me personally sad. So strap in, kids, because we are an independent podcast produced in the podcasting shed with the kind support of our patrons and partners. We aim to bring you a race review before your Monday morning commute. We might be wrong, but we're first. Well, we're going to need this fella. It's Matt Trumpets. It was all about tires today.
And I'm delighted. But first of all, how's about them regulations now, kiddos?
How do you like them regulation apples? Yeah, like it's interesting. What more do you want? So people were so unhappy with these regulations. Like, what is it that you think is lacking now? And tell me you want to go back to DRS trains. Tell me, look me in the face and tell me you want to go back to DRS trains. No, not you.
No,
in general. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, it was fine. Like, F1's pretty fine to watch right now. We've also got fellow Hamfosi, like you and me, Matt, we're both Lewis Hamilton fans, but I think Alex competes with me on the emotionally unhinged side of being a Lewis Hamilton fan. Hello, Geensy.
Get in there, Lewis!
I had my hand on the fader ready for you to shout. I knew I was going to have to crank that down.
Oh, what a day. I mean, when I saw the start of the race and he was on soft tyres,
I was livid. I was
like, what on earth are you doing? Is this to try and get Charles ahead? I was like, oh no, this is going to be embarrassing.
That's interesting.
And it wasn't.
No, you went for malicious. I went for stupidity. And just because,
isn't it the same thing?
Immediately Matt's being all clever. Like Matt read this race correctly, without emotion throughout the course of the race. So we're going to get actual grown-up opinions from Matt. I think that our unhinged reactions throughout the race are equally important. So Matt was like, "Oh yeah, but these three drivers in the midfield are also starting on soft." And I'm like, I don't care. Lewis Hamilton was P2. And so I was very nervous about that. As soon as I knew that they were on a 3-stop, I basically took that to mean, well, they've not really got any chance. If they have to go to a 3-stop, that's not going to work. There's no way the 3-stop can be the best tactic. But Alex, before we get into Hamilton, which is obviously topic one, I do want to know what your reaction was and how you were during the race as an F1 fan, as a Hamilton fan.
As a Hamilton fan, I was like, is this going to happen? Because it was like George got a quite semi-comfortable lead at the start. George seemed very comfortable in that first stint. But Lewis didn't wane. And the most important thing was Kimi didn't just close up to the back of Lewis like I fully expected him to. So I was like, oh, maybe
what's
there's
happening?
Something here. What is currently brewing?
Yeah.
Max got a good start on his softs, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe Max could be a feature, but unfortunately for Max, it disappeared for him.
Elson's just put in there, Verstappen was also on soft, so it couldn't be that crazy. That did placate me. I think it was Sean in the Patreon chat went, hey, don't worry, Max is on softs. And like, that is literally, oh, phew, that is literally, oh, well, if Max is on softs, maybe it's not so bad. And go on.
I half expected a pit call from Lewis going, why am I on softs?
Yeah, I think they actually had a plan. Don't worry, we'll get fully in the
weeds.
weeds.
I don't know if this was true. Adrian mentioned it in my Discord chat during the race. Was he on used softs when he started as well? And I was like, what is going on? Why are we throwing away a second place?
Well, it's like, softs would be so you can make up places at the start, presumably, and like be, it's worth a grid spot or something. But then use softs, that takes away that advantage completely. But yeah, the main thing there, like Elson said, is you go, yeah, Verstappen was doing it, so it makes you feel better. There was another example later on when I didn't know that the VSC light had come on after Lewis passed the pit lane. So all I saw was the Ferrari team packing away the tyres and the Red Bull guys coming out for the pit. And you go, oh, no. It's like, well, I mean, I thought it would be the right decision to pit, but that confirms it. Like, that's how good Red Bull are, is you go, oh, okay.
if a Red Bull strategy is rarely a bad strategy.
Yeah.
They generally seem to be the ones completely on point.
I do like that Alonso sees that as his only chance to actually be involved in the conversation as to what happened in this race, his last one at Barcelona. He's like, how can I get involved in this starting from the pit lane? I know, I'll break down.
He was a deliberate arbiter of chaos.
Yeah.
That's quite the assertion.
He's always been an agent of chaos, to be fair. Like him or loathe him. And I obviously lean more towards the loathe. He's always been a major agent of chaos.
We are not ruining Lewis Hamilton Day listening to you complain about Alonso. It's not happening.
It's what they come here for.
So
they want to hear me happy about Lewis and moaning about Alonso and Stroll.
So I will say, look, as sports fans, heavily invested in Lewis Hamilton's success. It is a bit tribal. Like I've spent years of my time arguing with people online about topics around Lewis Hamilton. So, I've done my 10,000 hours. I see, have I spent more time eating or debating about Lewis Hamilton topics? And you go, right, today, I had a feeling that he could nick it. That was my feeling. I was like, he's P2. He could nick it. If something goes wrong or if the Mercedes trip over each other. I just didn't see the scenario where he'd be good on the tires because it hasn't been good. I didn't see a scenario where they would have out and out pace. And then there was this slow trickle realization throughout the Grand Prix. You go, there was little points where you go, culminating in the medium pace, where you go, oh, no, he's formidable. He's fast. Like, what is this?
I was waiting for them to pit him from the softs and then stick him on a hard and leave him there for the rest of the race.
Just forget.
That's what the trauma
I
expected. And then it was the mediums. I'm like, oh, and then he was 2.5 seconds a lap faster than anybody else. And I'm like, oh, he can win this.
Yeah.
And that just had me on the edge of my seat for the rest of the race.
People were looking, but that was 13 seconds in 9 laps. He gained 2 seconds on the undercut, and then the rest just by being faster than the two of them. And I do love that Toto has tried to play this off as well. Most of that is going to be Antonelli fighting Russell. I'm like, no, my friend.
He'd already gained a whole bunch. I mean, it did cost them more.
They add your number.
It did cost them more when they started to fight.
Not
a
that
bit,
much.
but not.
Yeah.
He said 6 seconds, maybe 3.
Yeah, which is like less than half what Lewis gained. The moment they didn't cover him, having covered his initial early stop, they were toast.
Yeah.
And we can talk about why,
No,
I guess,
no.
when and if we get into this. But,
I want to deal with like the fan experience for a couple of minutes, and then straight into the Mercedes versus Ferrari strategy and how Mercedes ended up doing a 3-stop strategy with 2 stops. That's where they ended up. So when that creeping thing came in, that he was fast and that he had a genuine chance to win. When you saw that the Mercedes pit wall was for some reason obsessed with Norris, they just kept talking about Norris, and Russ was going, "What are you on about? What are you on about?" And it was almost like the Mercedes pit wall owed Lewis money, and they remembered, we owed Lewis 50 quid from the Christmas party in 2023. I know what we'll do. We'll just wreck our strategy completely. But then they came to the point where he was ahead. Even before the virtual safety car, the win was on for sure. It was going to be him charging through on the softer. And we rarely see this these days. The more stops and softer tire strategy, then attacking late in the race. That was going to be.
He'd have been on the hards on the final stint.
Oh, newer.
But he would be,
but
way, way newer.
Yeah, newer. And so it's like you can use your tires up strategy is what I was kind of getting at, I guess.
Yeah.
Guess, Alex. And then.
And that was plan C.
That was plan C. And then when he came out ahead, and there was that moment of, well, will he hold the lead? And no, he was comfortably gapping Russell. That was the worst I felt today. That is the worst I felt. Because there was something to lose. Before that, everything was a bonus. And then at that point, I think we were about 17 laps away or whatever. You go, right, now everything is possible. And I was pacing, and my son was like, he's like got his hands over his ears, like ready. And then and then that safety car, of course, comes up, and I've got trauma from 2021. But when the flag dropped, I was like, I have control of this. It's fine. I'm not going to do the thing where I kick off on a screen. Like I'm okay. But no, absolutely lost it. The neighbors now know. They know. Like no one's being murdered. F1's on. It's fine.
The big telltale for me during the whole thing was Lewis's engineer. He was so positive.
I love him.
So happy.
Carlos Santi.
Doing all the things for him that Bono used to do, just in Italian.
No, he's different. He's different.
But he was just. There was genuine excitement. You could feel that he was like, ooh, they'd seen it on the pit wall before we'd all seen it and gone, ooh, hello. It was just tantalizing. And if you go back now, retrospectively, and listen to all of his messages, like I've listened to a lot of them, and it's like, oh, they knew.
I love this because Bono came to Hamilton via Schumacher, ultimately. And I just feel like looking at Bono with Antonelli now, wouldn't have been exactly a father figure, but you have those, what do they call them?
Mentor?
People in mentors, in your lives that are just a little bit older. They've had that experience so they can share with you how to deal with things.
Found big brother.
I think,
like a found big brother thing. Yeah.
Bingo, exactly. Yeah. But I think Santi is like, oh, no. my friend, we are peers and collaborators. And let me explain to you how much better this can be at Ferrari now that we got this going. But because it is 100%, this is Lewis's strategy, performance, race engineers, all on the same page, fully believing in the dream. But I'm going to ask you a question, because the thing that came to me as a fan, I watched that second pit stop when Antonelli had just about, and I thought, oh my God, he knows the rules intimately of Mercedes intra-team competition. And he's done the one thing that's going to paralyze them long enough for him to absolutely make this strategy work. This is before I saw how fast he was on the medium. And it's genius. He must have told his team about it. And they said, hey, you know, well, that would open the door for a 3-stop if we could get them to this place.
That engineer, I'm so happy. I disagree with you slightly in they're like peers. I think the relationship is, I'm sure they're peers, like, you know, professionally in the office or whatever. And probably Lewis is leading a lot of the developments and they talk about the strategy. But in that moment, I think it is much more fatherly. That I don't know how old Carlos Santi is, but it's, have you know the Big Bang Theory where the only way they can get Sheldon to relax is to sing Soft Kitty, Warm Kitty? It's like that. He's on the radio.
Soft kitty, warm kitty,
Soft
little
ties.
ball of fur.
Soft tires, good strategy. And it was kind of, and he was just so encouraging. Like I wrote down some of the quotes, and it was like things like, he asked, like, am I catching them? Am I catching them? It's like, you are catching them very good. You're not just catching them, you're catching them very good. And then later in the race, when he was pushing, he said to him, you're doing very well. And he was like, you're doing very well. That is such a parent kind of suggestion. And he goes, you're doing very well. Keep doing what you're doing, sweetie. You're doing great out there, sweetie. Don't worry about the other kids. Like you, and when Lewis did the leave me alone, I know what I'm doing soft version, which was, you know, leave me alone, I'm on it, I don't need any more settings. It was, well, I understand that you feel like a big boy and that you know what you're doing, but I'm just going to give you the information of the setting I want you to have, and then you do with that information what you want. And I just found it like it was controlled.
Santi is 52, by the way.
Young man, yeah. It was.
So it's like uncle.
Uncle or young uncle, or like the big brother thing we've been talking about. But most importantly, it is
refreshing.
No, creme fraiche to Lewis's seltzer. Yeah, it's like it just pours like cool water over any tendency Lewis would have to lose his head. Love it.
Unlike Adami last year, who just did nothing but aggravate Lewis.
Oh, you mean he answered questions and knew what was happening? Like, this guy is that is the upgrade of the century. I don't want to slag off the other guy.
And he's only temporary.
No. Never say that again.
No, that's not true.
You shut your mouth. It is not temporary.
I heard it's temporary.
No.
They have updated that.
Okay.
He's going to keep him. The new guy is going to come on and be integrated into the team, but not in a pit wall.
No. If
you stay away, you keep Santi, you keep Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
You don't change it. You keep Carbon Industry brakes. Yeah, and you don't touch a damn thing.
And if you want to take Antonelli's towel, you take Antonelli's towel. He should have been watching it. Yeah, no. If Santi leaves now, we riot. That's it. Anyway, so obviously we're talking from very much from our Hamilton fan point of view. We're very happy. We're very giddy. We sort of apologise for that, but not really. Obviously, there might be some British bias involved in that. I think it is time that we accept that England is the best ever nation at motor racing race cars. Like, Alec, come on, it's the best ever. I think if you pick 10 random adults in England, they all be really relatively top people from any other country at karting.
If you look at the facts in Formula One, we've had more champions, more race wins, more anything. So
yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
factually, it is correct.
We're involved. We're part of that ladder, aren't we?
Factually, it is correct.
It was good.
I'm not being drawn into we are the champions of the world, despite there was 3 of us on the podium.
We're literally the best nation at motorsport in the entire world.
Look, keep your football. I'm not.
Rugby. I guess someone said, "Oh, but the price of this is that England will not get knocked out of the group stage." So I'm like, "Okay, fine, it's fine." Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. It's fine. But I'm not like Britain. I'm not like that. I'm not that guy. But from a sporting point of view, like you have nation loyalties, right? With sport, it was 3 of our lads up on the podium in that they're Spain, they far away on their own turf. Yeah. Oh, what did the Spanish do today? Oh, Alonso parked it on turn 9. Signs mucking around in the dirt at back of grid, and 3 of our lads, best of British, on the podium. Enough of that. Matt, strategy, and mainly it's Mercedes versus Ferrari, isn't it?
Well, Mercedes versus Ferrari and Red Bull, because it turns out Red Bull ran almost an identical strategy with different timings to the one that Ferrari ran, confirming my suspicion that the 3-stop was correct. And despite what I've heard, the medium tire was a better tire than the hard further into the race. Although opinions will differ, and people who know a lot more than me actually differ with me there. No, what happened was Lewis shows up on the soft tires, and based on what I read before the race coming out from Pirelli, which is they thought, oh, the hard tire may not really be a great tire in this race because it's going to be so slippery out there in the high heat. It'll actually be hard to switch it on, getting the bulk going, getting the inside tire temperature hot enough to be flexible and work. So they thought medium and soft might actually be a better combination. And the soft is just like, oh yeah, I'm going for the 3-stop. I did not expect him to have that pace on the medium. Like he gave us a glimpse in qualifying. Like he got close to turn 10 mistake. But for race pace, they don't have the downforce and they don't have the engine to go fast enough to have the aero work. And then I guess they just figured out the updates. And it was a lap 12 stop for him that immediately triggered a Russell cover, right? And there went Mercedes plan A.
I think this is crucial. This is a crucial point, right?
Yeah.
The fact they had a decision to make, and this is where I'm Team Russell, because he immediately said, what are we doing? Why are we getting sucked into this? So Mercedes must have been going for a 2-stop. They were on mediums at the start. Medium. So,
and George was very happy on that medium as well.
And he was
taken off of a tyre that he was very, very happy with.
That was probably his best stint. He was strong. The tyres weren't going. He could control the pace. Matt, that guy has been thrown from pillar to post, has had a nightmare. When the luck has his bad luck has been battering him. In the moments where it's eased off, he then has also not met the standard or whatever, or done not been good. And then he gets this window where he gets P1, he qualifies on pole at Barcelona. You can defend at Barcelona, and that's what the team do to him. He knew he didn't want to react. He was like, no, don't react. They're on the 3-stopper. So he called this completely. Had been managing his tires perfectly for a 2-stop with the extent, and his advantage over Lewis was that he didn't have to pit then because he'd picked a better tire.
And he'd complained about it. He's like, guys, if you were going to do this, you might have told me.
Yes.
And I would have used more of my tires sooner to be further ahead.
But how did they not tell him? How did they not tell him?
Because they didn't know. They looked at the time loss from the undercut, and they thought, if he goes any more laps on this tire, we give up the pit window. He'll be in our pit window, and we won't be able to pit and come out ahead of him. So I think that was their error, compounded by the fact they can't split strategies. Because what if that was the right strategy and you leave Antonelli out there? Can you imagine?
Yes.
The correct thing to do here is split strategies where you're going to cover Lewis because that's for the win. But if the other strategy happens to be faster, well, your teammate, who you've just been, as you say, battered by bad luck and beaten into submission by the media about how much better he is than you.
Yeah, every question is like,
so actually going to hand him the win on the platter?
Yeah.
Just to be correct on our strategy. So that absolutely derailed Mercedes. From that point on, they had to be fully committed to the 3-stop, and yet they weren't. And by time they figured it out, Lewis was like just gone. He was like, he was about 9 seconds from Russell when the Alonso thing happened, and still catching at an alarming rate of speed relative to the two of them. Other interesting thing is that George, you are correct, he owned that first stint. Not so much the second, and definitely not the third stint. So there's going to be some interesting Well, heavy car, cold tires, George is better. But as the car gets lighter, Kimmy starts to pick up an advantage. So I think we're going to see some really interesting stuff happening with that going forward on these more traditional circuits now.
Yeah, the whole talk, wasn't it, of the Saturday was, well, this suits Russell more. He's going to be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It did. It did. He would have been much closer to the win. But I will say, for everyone that feels bad for him,
yeah,
including me, think about it this way. If he'd finished first and Antonelli finished second, he'd have gained 8 points back. Antonelli didn't finish at all. He finished second. He gained 17 points?
18
points. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, not a bad afternoon for Mr. Russell, despite all.
But look at his face on the podium. He was not pleased about it. Yes. Okay. He's basically got his DNF back. Well, he's gotten his DNF back -7 points. But you could see from the look on his face that race did not go the way he had planned it because the team took his plan away. He was managing nicely. He was completely in control. I think he was quite happy to just keep plodding along and do the stint that he wanted to do. And they took it away from him because, as you said earlier, Matt, it looks like Lewis figured them out and went, oh, if we can absolutely mess with their heads here, and they won't know what to do and they'll fluff it.
Matt, can you build on that thing where you were saying Lewis had given them information that he used? Sorry, Alex. I was suddenly just went, oh, Matt said an interesting thing earlier and I didn't understand it and I was too proud to ask him to give more details.
And to be fair, usually what I think is interesting really just...
No, you're really bad at that. Yeah.
I am terrible. I have really interesting things to say and I say them in the worst way possible. That is kind of my thing. So what I thought was you had, at the point Hamilton made his second stop, strategy dictates I'm in the lead. If I don't pit now, he gets the undercut and he's in my pit window, which means I'm going to have to repass him. And if you're playing the game for track position, you don't want to do that. So you immediately cover. But they have a problem, which is then what do they do with Antonelli? Or if George is not wanting to pit because he's the lead driver and says, look, I wanted my 2-stop. I'm going to have my 2-stop. You leave George out and pit Antonelli, and that's the right strategy. Again, you're hamstrung by this need to treat both drivers the same way. And Lewis will have known the exact particulars of how Mercedes deals with every single variation of, we've got one driver being problematic, and we've got two of you to try and solve the problem with. And he knew whatever they did would advantage him tremendously. Mostly that they wouldn't be able to immediately respond. Like if you did that to Max, he'd just cover you. They'd be like, Max, we were on a 2-stop. Don't care. I'll be a 5-stop now. But I do not want to be behind him.
Yes, we'll just deal with it.
End of.
Lewis just hit checkmate straight away, didn't he? He's just like bang, bang, bang. I know exactly what you guys are going to do. We've planned.
He was the gravel to Hulkenberg's car.
Yeah, I've had that in
chess.
Oh
my God, that is the craziest thing ever.
Tell us the Hulkenberg thing. It's the nicer side.
All right, sorry. So, he was in the battle with Lawson. He was complaining about Lawson moving in the braking zone, and Lawson, attempting to defend, got a little bit wide, hit the gravel, and somehow a piece of gravel got spun up into the magic off button they have to cut the electrics off to the car when the marshals have to deal with it. And boom, shut the car down, and they couldn't get it restarted. And that was the end of his race. A single piece of gravel. I can imagine they'll be putting some kind of extra cover on it henceforth. But
that's the unluckiest thing to happen since a piece of gravel flew up and broke Grosjean's finger.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Right?
Yeah. I've got another example that I think is equal to this. It was where I think it was Gerhard Berger threw something out of his car to get rid of it, and it went into the air intake of his teammate Jean Alesi and retired. So I think both cars somehow.
That's the most Ferrari thing to ever happen.
And I think I'll look up the story properly, but I think somehow that caused both cars to retire. So like he had an issue that made him retire, but he took Alesi out with him. And I was surprised that apparently those two didn't get on. And Alesi did not like Gerhard Berger. So what I read on a random post, and it went in as fact, But let's get Catman to do a history of a Lacey and Berger as teammates at Ferrari, because I think that is actually quite an interesting. It's an interesting topic. So at this point, Matt, what we've got is the story kind of so far really is that they get sucked into following Hamilton, and so it's that thing where, have you ever played chess and like you were really thinking about your move for ages, all the connotations, and you finally make your decision, and then the person instantly just goes dumb, or like takes your piece, or like does you go, like, so you just knew all the possible moves I was thinking about, and you knew which one you were going to respond to.
Yeah, no, it's that, I've got checkmate plotted out. Here we go. And then they just move something. They're like, okay, I win. You're like, wait, what? How did I not see that? But you should bring up the point earlier of Norris being a distraction to them also.
Yeah, that was so odd.
Because
he was never in it.
Hilariously, Norris after the race was like, more or less, yeah, I was just goal hanging, waiting to see if something bad would happen to the Mercedes. And it did. So here I am on a podium. Yay me. But we don't really quite have that car yet. But it worked also in Lewis's favor because they, blinded by previous historical precedent, were assuming deeper into the race, Ferrari would not be able to maintain its tires or its tire advantage relative to the Mercedes. So do we have to worry about Lewis? Not too much. I mean, look at him. Look at his races. Tires. Like he's putting on a good show, and good for him. But like, by the end of the race, he'll burn him out and we'll be past him. And then next thing you know, but what about this Norris? What should we do about Norris? And Lewis pits and they're like, wait, what do? We have two drivers. We have to be fair to them. We should pit now. But our two stop will be done then. But can we? And then, and then Lewis is 9 seconds behind you and it's all over.
But I don't think that was particularly unfair. I certainly thought when they were doing obviously their tire management, and then there came a point where both Russell and Hamilton's pace just dropped away, and Antonelli was like chewing them up. And then Hamilton seemed to be maintaining this 2 second gap, and then he couldn't anymore. And so he's falling back into Antonelli, and you go, well, yeah, this is it. That's why they've got the 3 stop, because he can't hang on. And
it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, exactly. We've all had a good time. We don't need that extra tequila bomb out of a can or whatever those things are, party bombs. It was fine. Go. Nothing good happens after midnight. Just go to bed, and tomorrow's a brand new day. And then, it was just so unexpected to then immediately realize Hamilton is covering both their pit windows straight away. Like, what? Okay, well, that's on the mediums. Obviously, they'll burn out. You go, no, not really. The pace was, it was outrageous. All I can think is, was he running better on lower fuel or something?
Well, I think so. But again, I think the thing with the medium tire that was discussed as being the advantage is that it gives you enough grip. You can warm them up rapidly and use them properly. They still weren't going to last. It was 50 C minimum temperature in the race. It was the hottest track and a highly abrasive one. And all of those right-hand turns loading up that left front, plus the issues with extra wheel spin on traction. It was a disaster from a tire management point of view, the environmental conditions. But what Lewis did, what Ferrari did correctly was they said, that's being the case, let's just launch a rocket with every stint. And when he came out on that medium tire, like the comms on Formula One TV were like, oh my God, he's like 2 seconds a lap faster on his outlap. He's already killed their pit window before he gets back to the finish line coming out of the. And then you're like, oh, okay, I have sat up. And you wonder how many laps does he have to go to make this stick?
Yeah.
And the answer is Alonso's car brakes. And we don't know. Like, I would like to know how much longer he could have maintained that pace on that tire.
Should we do a coulda, woulda, shoulda? I think it's a good time for a coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Well,
let me play
because that will be the big question. Could he have won?
Let me hit the bumper. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. What would have happened? Let's figure out what would have happened.
Oh my God, Nick sounds really different.
Yeah, I know. If I'm honest, her singing skills they're diminishing. It's sad. It's sad to see an icon fade. Yeah, no, my wife does a lot of the singing for the old bumpers. So yeah, obviously he gets that safety, that VSC, right? And I'm gonna get fully like, oh, you let your bias dictate your opinions. Yes, and that's gonna happen now. Prepare for a bunch of that, because some people just went, oh, if he didn't get the VSC, he wouldn't have won, or the VSC handed him the win. And I'm not even mad. I'm like, shut up. Like, if that's what you think, you're just telling on yourself that you are just going to put him down at any cost. But obviously, we can entertain. If it really did help, obviously it helped. Like, if you would take it rather than not take it, and it took away the overtaking element. How crucial was it? Would he have won without the VSC?
Oh, you're asking me, like,
no, I want to ask Alex. No, you're going to give a sensible answer. Alex,
yes,
I want your
I will.
British bias opinion.
At the pace that he had, he seemed to have enough pace that passing might not have been an issue. Might have been difficult, might have caused trouble, but he definitely had the pace to cruise up to the back of that pack no matter when he pitted, and have a good run at overtaking. We didn't see a lot of on-track overtaking today, so we don't know how it would have panned out. But he was, after the VSC, he was pulling away at half a second a lap.
A crazy amount.
So it was between 5 and 8 tenths of a second every single lap. He pulled out a 20-second lead.
Yeah.
By the end of the race, which is insane. So I think it's likely he still would have won the race. My contact from Mercedes was like, I'd have been interested to have seen what happened without the VSC, though, because he would have got stuck behind dirty air and yada, 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 and back to all the stuff that we know about Formula One of old. But it didn't happen that way. And for once, Lewis actually got the rub of the green on something that goes his way against all the other rubbish that's gone against him throughout the last 20 years of his career.
Matt is going to answer his opinion whether the VSC was a deciding factor. But can we add into that? What if you couple in a twitchy Mercedes doing what we always criticize them for doing, even when they were dominant, which is sort of being reactive in their strategy? So what if we were the pit wall and we, with our hindsight, which we also had at the time, which everyone had at the time, made different decisions? And then also, what if Antonelli was able to get past Russell early with the pace Antonelli had?
So are you legitimately asking me a complex multi-part question?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just so I understand clearly what's happening here.
It's because I want to have a break. Obviously, when I did the Saturday show, I just had to put this Discord chat up and drink from my tankard. But now I have a mat, so I can take a break. It's good.
Yes, you can. Although I'll start off with being highly distracted by the fact that the chat has answered my question about how far Lewis might have gone on that medium. And none other than Mike Caulfield himself has told me that there had been a radio call for 7 more laps on the medium that he thinks might have translated to 5 more than they actually went when they pitted for Alonso. So that's a little nice nugget and a good reason, perhaps, to join us as a Mr. Apex patron. And we'll give you that address in a little bit because despite being clever in a lot of things, I have a really terrible memory. What I want to say about Spanner's complicated multi-part question is the only part of it that really is germane or matters here is Antonelli's pace on the hard, assuming he immediately got by Russell. Every other question was answered by Hamilton's fourth stint, 3 stops, 4 stints on the hard tire. He was just blazing fast compared to the Russell and Antonelli pair. And just when Antonelli gets by, his car stops. So we don't get the answer to that, but it would have been too little too late. Had they gone 2-stop, the tire delta, obviously, from looking at Lewis, would have been massive. And nobody else was really, except Norris, keeping up with them. So he's not going to fall into traffic really at that point and have any issues like you might at the beginning of a race.
I don't think Kimi was... I think Kimi was definitely quicker than George and definitely hunting. And obviously, we saw him hunting George and eventually getting him towards the end. I don't think he had the kind of pace to pull away the way Lewis did. But I also think after Mercedes took away George's initial strategy, I think he just went, well, I can't beat Lewis on this particular strategy the way they've got me, especially after how bad his first hard tyre run went. So he was like, well, I'm just going to try and beat Kimi. All I want to do is keep Kimi behind me because I can lose points to Lewis and it doesn't matter. If I lose points to Kimi, it's bad. So I think that is probably part of the thing that he kind of went, he was stuck between a rock and a hard place and he was put there by his team.
I have a question for you, Gingy. If losing points to Lewis doesn't matter, why is Russell third and Lewis second in the championship?
Hell yeah! Preach!
Because maybe he feels that it's here. Maybe they just have the car advantage here, and it might not be a car advantage elsewhere, and still sees himself going forward. I mean, listen, I would love for it to be a completely new, rejuvenated Ferrari, and they're all of a sudden the fastest
It
car,
is.
and Lewis goes on to win the title in every single race the rest of the season. Yes, please. Give me that. I will never say a bad thing about 2011 when Seb won 9 races in a row.
I think you're in luck because that's literally what's about to happen.
Well,
Is Lewis not a title contender?
Well, good
Well,
question.
Yeah, answer it positively.
Right now, I think we are offset in upgrades. So Mercedes could bring updates that make them faster.
Your own rule. Updates.
Well, it's upgrades because Ferrari proved they were upgrades.
Ferrari's
to be fair.
upgrades this
But
race.
Mercedes can bring
really
updates that do turn out to be upgrades and even the field that way. Not every track will have these environmental conditions. But the really big unknown here is the engine regulations. Ferrari gets 2 updates to theirs. Mercedes gets 1. But how much can Mercedes farm out of what is already a very big advantage relative to how much does Ferrari really need to catch up to be a serious part of this conversation? I don't think anybody knows because we've not seen this engine regulation before in Formula One. It's just not been a thing.
Well, Ferrari just going to go put a bigger turbo in and be done with it. That's basically all they need to do. But the other thing I was thinking about, I thought about this during the race, and you just mentioned it about the conditions. Could this just be Merc rubbish at hot tracks again? And if it's really, really hot,
we brought softer tires to Barcelona also, though.
So could that be just an environmental effect? Whole reason that Lewis might have been struggling previous is he can't get the tires to heat up. Go to a track with 52 degrees track temperature. All of a sudden, the car turns on.
I would prefer you to not dampen my delusions. Is that okay?
This is where I get stuck. Where it's like I want to go, yes, Hamilton, go win everything, but I also want to dial back and put myself in a little bit of reality and think a bit like Kyle Power and be a bit like maybe we need to chill just a second while still enjoying how freaking awesome today was.
I don't want to do that.
I think
I don't want to chill.
You don't need to chill too much because I think this step they've made is very real. They've made it with the Norris comment. If they had a real engine, they'd be dominating right now. I have no problems believing that.
Norris said that about Ferrari, to be clear.
About Ferrari. Yeah. If they had a real engine, they'd be dominating everything right now. I think they possibly have the best chassis aero combination on the grid. They just designed an engine for the regulations as they were, not as the way Mercedes politicked them into being, if you know what I'm saying. And they have been given a green light to immediately solve that problem and will probably have an update for their power unit very soon, I hope. Just because I want to see a really great battle between 2 just stalwart teams for this championship and for Lewis to be part of it. It's brilliant. Secondary question. Has this changed the calculation of the Leclerc and Hamilton talent level?
2 very, very different questions. So we'll do actually, we've got to do Leclerc versus Hamilton, sure.
Yeah.
And then another topic is now Antonelli versus Russell, for sure, like as a summary, and that battle. Because we still haven't talked about the overtakes, the actual overtake between Antonelli and Russell and that battle there. But if we're talking about why we think Hamilton can mount a title challenge, which yes, they can. It's not. Is it a fluke? No.
Nope. No. They engineered it. They meant it to happen. It happened. That means they can do it again.
But I would have bet any amount of money that Ferrari would somehow find a reason to not bring Hamilton in on that VSC. Because my lad was going, are they not going to bring him in? I don't know. It's always like my son was like, promise me they're going to bring Hamilton in the next lap. I can't. It's not a promise I can make. I've been hurt too often. There's zero odds you could have given me that would have made me put any money on them doing it.
But also them being sensible in not bringing him in on the final VS6. Like, we don't need to. We have over 15 seconds of a lead. 15 seconds of a lead. We don't need to take the risk. You can cruise home. It's not going to be a full safety car. It's fine. Relax. But also on this whole thing, please don't give me hope. Please.
No.
I want to watch every single race going forward and enjoy every single race and watch Lewis win every single race. But please don't give me hope that it's going to happen. Otherwise, I'll just
not
cry.
going to give you false hope. But it is
I'll take any
far
hope.
more plausible now than it was 24 hours ago.
Oh yeah, like he's within 41
God, if people
points.
thought we were difficult to deal with during the Mercedes during the Mercedes days, could you imagine what's going to happen towards the end of this season?
If Hamilton wins a title with a third team, like it might be the end. I might have to retire. Just for regard for the public, I will not be a suitable orator of F1 facts. But
you'll move upstairs to producer,
executive
producer.
I'll step aside. I'll bring in a new host in. I'll just run it behind the scenes, and also I'll just be happy. I'll be happy and celebrating. So it's 41 points. So Mercedes have a problem with their engines, right? They have a problem. They've the last race
somehow
someone did a great tweet where they were like, Antonelli is blessed because look at every other Mercedes driver. They've had problems except Antonelli.
Our listener EJ calculated 1 in 5 Mercedes starts is plagued with a drivetrain problem. 1 in 5.
And every time that happens, 25 points because Lewis is going to win every race.
The only good news for Mercedes is it doesn't seem to result in wholesale need to replace components that are in the limited pool.
Got it, yeah.
So they're not in any super duper immediate danger of penalties, but I mean, we're also 7 races in of a 22 race season. So we're a third of the way through. You can do that math and begin to think it could also quite happen that they will run afoul of their own strategy, which do you think, like I do, one of the reliability issues is tied to them trying to get one of the engine updates made available to them over Red Bull? Like, we're going to purposefully nerf our engine in a certain way.
I mean,
we're going to overuse the electrics. But guess what happens when it's 30 plus C outside and you're racing on a 50 C plus track? Electrics. Wait, do you know something about the spanners? Our electrics may be vulnerable to heat, possibly.
Electronics, but yes. And Alex made that point. And you honestly made me sad when you were like, Mercedes are bad in the heat. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, I forgot about that. So
I don't think they're bad in the heat.
No, they are. No, Mercedes.
I do occasionally have a good point.
No, Mercedes definitely run. I think I've thought this with them since like 2014, 2015. They run a heat sensitive, orientation. It's not a coincidence. They struggle, have to turn things down. Well, the first time they had to deal with it in Singapore, they were there with like pliers from like that you'd cut your garden thing, and they were just cutting holes in the chassis to get more air in and cool it down.
Cut loads of the bodywork away, didn't they?
But I have more delusions if you want. So that is the first way, is the Mercedes issues. Is that they could, every single time something bad like that happens, they're potentially losing 25 point. And the thing is, the season is long. I think as F1 fans, we get in this habit of going, if you're 40 points ahead, that's it. You're gonna cruise it. We know that's not the case now. We saw Verstappen.
That was back in the day when we had 16 races.
Verstappen was 103 points behind Piastri and ended up ahead of him last season.
And only a point behind Lando.
Yeah, it was 2 points. Yeah, so it's like no, that era where if you've got more than a race win gap, that's over. Second is Ferrari didn't really seem to struggle on power today, really, and mysteriously now the duo readings have been taken. Oh, look at that! It's quite powerful now.
I was looking at some information from one of the guys I follow on Twitter who gets some of the real information. Ferrari were the fastest in a straight line during qualifying.
Okay, so
during qualifying, and then you got Red Bull who had the best engine.
Yeah, and
the best they could do was fourth after retirement.
I think Red Bull are completely right to challenge those readings because because their thing is, did Mercedes and Ferrari run a bit lower so that they would get the duo tokens or whatever? You go, I mean.
I could sit here and be a Red Bull and Max troll,
Yeah.
for giggles, if I really wanted to be like, oh, see, Max can't just drag a car. They've got the best engine. I could make all the trolls, and I've done that to Danny Henney already. But yeah, the a duo sort of qualification is BS as far as I'm concerned. How the hell Mercedes are allowed to have an upgrade is ridiculous.
Speaking of Danny Henney, he's our iRacing champion. We are getting pretty full with the drivers, but if you want to watch our streams, we are going to be streaming that on the Missed Apex Motorsport channel, and we'll try and get a link to that in the show notes below. Generally, Wednesdays or Thursdays, we're going to have a bunch of the crew doing iRacing and just chatting and having fun. Matt? Oh,
sorry, I temporary timeout for me because emergency vehicle outside there.
It's okay. It's become a feature of the show. It's a character of the show.
People are expecting that. Yeah. I just lost my train of thought.
No, that's absolutely fine. That happens. You're super old, but that hasn't affected your ability to play trumpet because that only has 3 buttons. People can go and see you in your Ska band. Where can they check that out? We'll have links to it, of course.
The next one is going to be Hastings on Hudson, the beginning of July. And if you're in New York, July 24th, you'll want to come see me in Bryant Park as part of the Carnegie Hall concert series.
Do it. Yes. Matt will hang out with you. What I will say, and Alex will agree with me, Matt is fantastic company until about 1 a.m. and then run for the hills. It's a trap. We have had very well-respected people in Formula One passed out in car parks when they were supposed to be karting. It's a dangerous game.
Don't trust Matt with whiskey around other people. It's just not fair on anyone else.
So this is the Ferrari hope. So I think that I buy that conspiracy theory a little, like that they will have been gaming. They put a system there that's gameable. So game it. It's fine. So let's say they did that, then they get the duo. And given Norris's comments, they could genuinely have pace and be dangerous. And Lewis Hamilton is on form. So I think temporarily, at least, a lot of the arguments about can he drive a race car real fast? Yeah, of course he can. He can. And the battle is, can you develop a car towards yourself? Yes, he can. Can he take a grip of the Ferrari board and get Ferrari behind him? Yes, he can. Can he take a generational potential talent like Charles Leclerc and make Ferrari forget about him? Yes, he can.
It's all right. At least Charles hasn't just signed a generation-long contract with Ferrari, and all of a sudden he's losing out to his teammate.
Leclerc will be able to go out and buy fish and chips whenever he wants. Like the cash is fine. He's okay, but it's a Lewis team, man. It's a Lewis team right now.
Did you see them celebrating with him? The celebrations with him
with Lewis
in Part Ferme was crazy. Like more than I've seen than when they did. He's done something to that team to bring it all together, and it's great. And if you're Charles, you're like, but I was the chosen one.
But I was forecast the championship.
So first of all, if I'm Charles, I'm going to do my best to take this in stride because I love Lewis. Lewis is not going to be on the grid until Charles runs out of ability to drive fast. Eventually, he is going to inherit all the goodness that Lewis creates. Bit frustrating to have been there, but what he's done, and I think you really touched on it in a way that's important. Lewis, and you listen to him, I've got my engineering team. I've gotten them to give me the brakes. He has created a safe space for Ferrari to be a decent strategy and engineering team in his garage. And that's going to pay benefits to everybody that go out and are operational. And but he had the rep to do it. And that's the difference.
So you mentioned the brakes. I just have to mention this just because I've seen a few comments online where people have gone, oh, Lewis has got carbon brakes now, so now he's doing well. It's like, no. It's cool. They've all got carbon brakes. All F1 cars have carbon brakes. But throughout Lewis's career, he's always worked with a company called Carbon Industries, and he's always used their brakes. Ferrari have always had an agreement and a working relationship with Brembo. Lewis has gone there. They've put him on Brembo's. He's gone, what the hell is this? I can't brake the way I want to. And he's moved to Carbon Industries and all of a sudden improved. And then Charles gone, can I have some too? And now Charles on them and then was doing better until qualifying happened.
Until Wall.
So just for those that were confused about the whole chat about change of brakes, it's not that he's moved from steel brakes to carbon ones. He was always on carbons. He's moved from Brembo to Carbon Industries, which he has a long-standing relationship throughout his whole career with.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't he do the same when he went to Mercedes, right?
Absolutely.
I want hope. If Alex doesn't want hope, I'll take his. I'll take your hope.
You're welcome to my hope, and then I will enjoy you in the celebrations in Abu Dhabi.
You're listening to the meme, which is the Hawkeye in the rain meme. That's your "Don't give me hope," and that's been posted a billion times about Hamilton. I prefer Bill Burr's approach. He's like, you may as well be, Bill Burr, the comedian. Yeah, he's like, you may as well assume everything's going to be okay and feel fine, and then when it's not okay, just deal with it then. Overall, you'll spend more time feeling fine and happy. So yeah, I am absolutely going to just bathe. Like, I've got 2 weeks until Austria. I'm going to spend that entire 2 weeks.
He always sucks at Austria.
Yeah.
Just saying, by the way. He always sucks at Austria.
And we get to talk about track limits endlessly as well.
Kimi and track limits.
Yeah, there's that.
Today.
I know we've been very focused at the front of the grid. That was inevitable today. We will pick up some of that in the awards section coming up, and we can always do a pickup show because there's no race preview this time around, so we can do kind of things we missed from Barcelona on Tuesday or something like that.
Sweet.
So where was I? Oh, gosh.
Not just me. Not just me.
I've done a map.
Better.
Hope.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to spend the entire time between now and Austria just assuming that this is a resurgence and that Norris is correct, that they're going to unlock some power. But because the thing is, the run is good. So when Antonelli was on his run, it's fair to say his run and form will continue. And despite, aside from qualifying, Antonelli's run kind of did continue in terms of his battle with George Russell. We saw all the things that I always say happened with George Russell happen. And I get so much grief for my analysis of George Russell. But let's talk about Antonelli versus Russell, unless Matt has a whole.
No. I was going to jump both feet into
Do we have to?
I know, and you're the Russell fan, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
You're the Russell fan.
And I have not. I've been like, where's he gone? Where's the guy?
I feel for Russell fans, man. I feel for.
Where's the guy who was the second best driver just behind Max last year? Who was faultless, who was quick, who made no mistakes, who was good on his tires last year. Where's he gone? I'm baffled. And the thing is, the ashen look on his face.
He's baffled, yeah.
On the podium today was like, I was very nearly third from starting on pole and having a clear lead at the beginning of this race.
There was a scenario.
How has it slipped so far?
There was a scenario where he wouldn't be on the podium at one point. I don't think Lando
wasn't getting him. They dropped Lando at the end. I don't think he was getting Lando. I don't think Lando was going to get him.
Lando was not keeping up. I looked at the race trace. You can see him starting to tail off because usually McLaren has a late race pace. But they actually asked Norris. They said, "Could you do this and then do that?" And he's like, "I can do one. I can keep up now, or I can go fast later. But I can't keep up as much as you want me to and go fast later. That's not the car. It is just like giving me a big fat no on that."
Yeah.
But Geensy, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Where did that George go? Wait, the George who was on pole?
Yeah.
The George who was absolutely smashing ahead of Antonelli until they ruined his strategy? I can understand his reaction to that is like, oh, yeah, right at the end, Antonelli got it. But then his race engineer goes, yeah, but George, they took all of your advantage away at the beginning of the race. Mm-hmm. And look how hard it was for Antonelli. Look how hard it was for him to even have a chance at getting by you. Yeah, he might have raw pace over you, but you can still outthink him. And especially if he doesn't pack his snacks. Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. But I also can read body language. And you don't even have to be good at reading body language to look at George Russell and go, that is not a happy racing driver. He got his tiny little bit of groove back. He got a little bit of a glimpse of, this could come back. And he's instantly had it snatched away from him again.
Today will have hurt. I know he finished at second, and so technically ahead of Antonelli, but that's a loss today. Like, he's taken a beating today.
Paddy, can you stop it, please?
What has
Paddy
Paddy
just
said?
Paddy just posted the picture of George Russell at Canada behind the behind the fence in Canada.
I disagree. I think
Ooh.
today is really. I don't know if Russell will win or lose this battle, but today demonstrated to me very clearly that it's possible for him to win it.
Oh,
And I think once he sits down and looks at the data with his engineers,
Ooh.
I think they will. I think they have something because he did dominate that first stint. Antonelli was not close to him.
True, but like he fell away.
And the stint got cut short.
sorry.
But that lets the engineers go, okay, well now there's something we can get an answer to and understand to your benefit. But does that put back into the realm of politicking for who gets what strategy win? And if that's where it winds up, who actually gets the upper hand in that battle? That's what I'm saying.
I think his main takeaway will be in 2 stints, my tires went in the way that I predicted. But his tires went and Antonelli was all over him and eventually got past him. And Mercedes were holding him back. Like they will have a debrief together. And by the way, the comments from both of them, like if they're asked about each other, Antonelli's pretty honest. He'll be like, well, I don't know why George said that. That's not right. But it will come up. If it comes up and it says, oh, well, we needed to call off that. We needed to work together or something. Antonelli will go, well, I was just faster. And the only reason I didn't overtake was because they told me twice to stop pushing. And
wait. Antonelli with no track limits left because he got a penalty after the race. That Antonelli who could not have passed George and been ahead of him anyway without being flung off track. Because, look, maybe George was losing his tires.
Yeah.
But maybe George was backing Antonelli into Norris, and maybe George was just going to make it hard enough for him to overtake that he knew he'd get another track limits violation, and then George doesn't have to work so hard.
Before his engine went, he was gapping. Antonelli got past him. He was gone. He was absolutely gone.
He was after he passed. He was 1.1
seconds
ahead after
by the end of the
corners.
race.
Yeah, he was gone.
5 seconds in 3 laps.
He was. Yeah.
You think he had that much pace?
Yeah, I think.
But he wasn't getting the penalty anyway. He wasn't off the track.
No, he got a penalty.
No, the FIA said they miscounted it, and he would have got a penalty. It doesn't carry.
Okay,
That's new news. That is new news.
By the way, you just reminded me of something, Matt, when you just said, Spanners, when you just said that Kimi would just say, I'm just faster. That has the feeling of Multi 21 and Webber and Seb vibes, which makes me feel sick because I don't want to put George anywhere near the Mark Webber status.
Wait a minute.
But
are you
that
saying
that just made me feel ill.
Has your George Russell fandom survived Antonelli? As in, like you're not converting. Are you not joining? You're not joining us on
but I like Kimi anyway. This is as we had this discussion last time I was on. I have a problem in Formula One at the moment because I like both Ferrari drivers. I like both Mercedes drivers.
Yes,
I like one of the McLaren drivers.
Yeah.
So I'm happy at the moment because I'm really enjoying F1 because all my favourites are in the top 5. So I'm easily pleased. But I wouldn't have celebrated as hard as I did for Lewis for anyone else today. So.
How long will Mercedes let Russell do the thing where he's only focused on his teammate?
Depends how close Lewis gets.
He's in between them. It's
no, as in how close he gets to Kimi. If the next 3 races is Lewis is not ahead of either of them, they can relax.
Oh, sure, yeah. If it falls
but
away,
if Lewis keeps splitting them or keeps beating them, they have to back Kimi.
Paddy says, which McLaren driver? You know the good one. Come on, shush. It's a silly question. Terrible.
Can we talk about that McLaren driver?
Of course you can.
So, I'm well impressed with Lando this year. I think he's done exactly what I'd expect from someone who's just won a world championship, which is he's been faultless.
Chill.
He's got what looks like the maximum out of that car. He annihilated Piastri today. He was on the heels of the Mercedes. I think Lando has done the winning. This whole phantom of winning a championship changes you. I think Lando's proving that that's that thing. He's incredibly mature. He's so much better in the interviews and stuff now. He's so much less sort of emotional. Okay, he's not fighting for a championship and he knows he's not fighting for a championship, but he's still there. If things go wrong, he'll nib it. He'll nab a podium he did today.
Yeah.
He's got that champion's groove, which is, okay, I have confidence in myself now because there's been none of that self-doubt that he had a lot of the last couple of years, and he's just there doing the kind of job that George was doing last year.
Norris is he's a bit more generous in the interviews and he's less defensive. Like he hasn't got his back up. It almost felt like, you know, you had that initial like banter. I'm a Bantosaurus Rex. Ha 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 ha. Jokes. And then
the media
destroyed
it.
We're jokes too. And then he went sort of moody and defensive, where every question was like, no, it's fine. And then, but this year they asked a question. He goes, yeah, and the flowers were very scentful and beautiful today. Like on the podium when he was talking about Hamilton's win, it just felt sincere. And it's like, okay, I can let my guard down a little bit and just be relaxed.
I like it when you discussed Verstappen and Hamilton racing respectfully as, well, neither one of them is about to win anything.
Yeah.
And I think Norris demonstrates very clearly the massive advantage that the works teams have when in a new power unit period, especially like, you know, them being the good customer team and all. He just legit said, look, we've made big steps. But you don't hear him crying about how the car is driving or the power unit's doing anymore. They've clearly improved a lot, but not enough relative to the people who had the massive advantage to start with. And this is where you as a customer team will always, always suffer. That's why we see Red Bull wanting their own power unit. That's why Audi wants their own power unit. That's why Aston, disaster though it may be, is saying, oh yeah, disaster now, but give me enough regulation sets and it's going to be a huge advantage going forward because I'll have that same natural advantage that Mercedes has over McLaren. And Norris is just now mature enough to go, yeah, that's true. And realize that, oh, I can just blame the car here because it really is just the car and the engine not yet fully in harmony.
No.
And there's nothing I can do about it. The team will admit it too. It's not like they're doing a bad job. They're doing a great job, actually. Look at how close we got that quickly. But there's no Norris ego that needs defending in this equation. So he can just be honest and tell the truth about stuff. Say, yeah, of course, we got close. We hung out for a goal and boom, so we got a rebound and put it in the back of the net. Yay, us.
Yeah.
But we're not really on the same level yet.
And it helps.
And I love that. I love that for him.
Yeah, it's almost like a break, isn't it? He had a very difficult. Now he can have a gap year and then see what happens. And it helps. I think the power dynamic inevitably was always going to change in the team from papaya rules to, well, I'm world champion. It was always going to change. I would imagine they're developing towards Norris like from the offset now. I would imagine that's the feeling in the team. It's a guess, but it was cromulent. And also, he is comfortably ahead of Piastri. Whenever I've seen them, like I don't actually know the points table. I'm assuming Norris is ahead. But whenever I look, it looks like it's good for Norris. But when I've looked on the onboards, the McLaren is not the most compliant car. It's probably the most four-wheel drift car of the lot of them. It looks really scruffy, and obviously you're going to make the tires work a lot harder. And then of the two of them, Piastri even more is very aggressive and is really fighting that car a lot more. So Norris is in a completely fine place where he's a single good-looking Formula One driver with money in his pocket. I believe he's been unleashed onto the world from his situationship. What? How old is he? 24? Imagine that. 24, 25, Alex. What would you and I have done with F1 driver wages and no ties in our 20s? Man, I would have
things I can't say on the podcast.
Golf. Oh yeah, me too. Golf and poker. That's what I'd have done. Yeah. People like saying like Piastri seems to have lost his sparkle.
He's 26.
Yeah, Piastri is not a feature in this season. It's to a wild extent. He didn't even get to start the first two races. So yeah, you're right. I do like what I'm hearing from Norris, but I don't like that car. I really was thinking it would be a step forward and an advantage to them on this kind of track, which is just like an aero monster. I really thought that McLaren would have, a little bit more of a say in the conversation. Now, obviously, I know this show has been dominated by the top teams and by the strategy, and partly it's just because we were giddy. Me and Alex were giddy about the win. Matt was stoically pleased. He nodded. He sent me a video of him nodding like that, and I sent him a video back of him
Slowly and
nodding.
deliberately,
Yeah,
but
like
nodding,
in the
yes.
movies, it's like a slow kind of nod. Like, yes, nice. There was a race win.
Well
So
played, sir. Well played.
the general thing on Missed Apex is, yes, it's nice to cover everything, but generally, like, we will spend time talking about the topics we want to talk about. And I long abandoned any ambition to, we must cover team by team or anything like that. And I saw this content creator, definitely potential. Like, I'm tracking content creators all the time, but they started, here's my review of the race, and we'll start from the back of the grid up. And I went, oh no, nobody wants an analysis of Cadillac's racing strategy. Like, just no, just pick the things that
Isn't their strategy, please finish the race?
I don't know. They were doing like master plan strategies apparently in qualifying, and you're 3 seconds off.
What if I could do a TED-like thing and get through all of the teams very rapidly?
That's great.
Even if it was boring. No, but
What happened to your
finishers,
rhyme
we
that you used
we
to
had
do?
like 14 finishers. Plus Albon, who was like 11 laps down.
What happened to Matt's race in 60 seconds? That rhyme we used to do.
Yeah.
Loved that. That was great.
Really?
That's gone in the bin like comment of the week.
I didn't get the impression that what it was getting was worth the amount of time it was taking.
Well,
maybe that was incorrect impression.
Don't blame me. I'm not a showrunner or producer here. I'm just.
No.
I am just the handsome talent. That's my role. Don't talk to me about content decisions. All right.
And also, I think other people stole it. But...
Shall we? Let's reconvene on like Tuesday or Wednesday or something and do things we didn't pick up, or best of the rest review of the Barcelona Grand Prix that used to be the Spanish Grand Prix, but is now no longer, and we will not come back to this lovely track for another 2 years, which makes me sad. However, we are going to move on to our podium, the Barcelona Grand Prix. A track in danger of falling into the annals of history. A track in danger of becoming the manicure of Spain, joining the likes of the Nürburgring in disappearing with unsuitability for modern F1 cars, except this time revitalized by these new regulations. These much maligned new regulations allow Charles Leclerc to overtake a Red Bull round the outside of turn 3. Right, if you want to complain about these regulation sets, you have to justify why what you want is better than Leclerc around the outside of turn 3 at Barcelona, outside of a Red Bull. Because whatever's going on now, like whatever you think it should be, we turn up to tracks and have interesting racing. Plus, this is a track that gives a driver challenge. It's a track that has strategy, and it's gone. It's going to rotate with another classic all-time track, Spa. Madrid, the bar for the quality of that track to justify what's happened here is so high.
We're going to replace a generational track with a track in a car park in an industrial estate in the middle of Madrid.
The bar is so high. Like, if they pull off miracles and it's the best track on earth ever, then I will begrudgingly go, okay, I understand the commercial decision, but no, it's impossible. It is absolutely impossible. Barcelona, I am grieving Barcelona being a regular part of the F1 calendar. Genuinely, like it genuinely hurts from an F1 point of view.
By the way, since I mentioned comment of the weeks, both the Discord and YouTube have gone nuts. Just saying.
It's difficult. It distracted Matt for the entirety of the.
What? Sorry, I was reading comments in the chat.
Exactly. We may like try. I'm getting better at using like tools and stuff and bots and whatever. Maybe we can have a bot that farms it or whatever, or an intern. Maybe I can just get my son to do it for less.
Kyle doesn't have enough things to do. Get Carl to do it.
Oh yeah, that's good. Let's put more workload on Kyle. That's great.
Yeah, Kyle never complains about needing more time for himself. Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, some weeks there was gold. Other weeks it was just puns from Mike. So, I'm just saying.
Puns count. Don't discriminate against puns.
There we go. Here's 9 weeks of comment of the week drama. It was a pun, though. No, done.
Sean says comment of the week is important because we want to be acknowledged for how hilarious we are. Believe me, I do. A serious note before we do the awards. the social relationship that we have. I think it's described as a parasocial relationship where you feel like you know the podcasters or whatever. I think that doesn't apply to Missed Apex podcast because of the amount of interaction we actually have. Like we genuinely make our chats and our streams part of the show. You've met us at events. You've sat and listened to Matt talking about adjusting brake settings on iRacing in a bar in Norwich at like 3 a.m. Like, it's not parasocial, it's social. So we absolutely love the interaction from you guys. Just that specific feature is vulnerable to a lack of consistent quality from both you and Matt. Let's do our awards. Let's start off with the negative.
Oh no, you missed the Apex.
Well, you're missing the Apex if you're not part of our Patreon community at patreon.com/Missed Apex. We only survive because our patrons go, yeah, you're worth $8 a month. Not because we get $8 a month worth of stuff necessarily, but you do. You get a great, an ad-free feed. You get to be in our Patreon Discord, which is absolutely right. It is absolutely the best place on the internet to hang out and have like chat, text conversations during the race, without doubt. Like, it is, everyone in there is nice and they're invested in the community, so there is no turds in the punch bowl. Like, everybody wants it to be a nice place in there. We've had very few instances of having to,
because you weeded them out.
Yeah, I culled them. I culled the problem. No, it was rare. It's rare that we've had to do that. It is the best place on the internet to hang out on a race day, specifically. It's mostly that that you are substituting what other podcasts have, which is corporate backing. We don't have that. We have our patrons.
The best bit was when we used to be on Slack and somebody accidentally hacked it.
Oh my God. No, right. Okay. No, someone didn't accidentally hack it. The settings.
Yeah, they did. They didn't know what they were doing.
No. The settings that they had on Slack meant that someone thought they were doing like a personal upgrade, but they were upgrading the entire Slack channel. of like 1,200 people.
100 people.
And it was like $8 each. And so they ended up getting billed like $7,000 or something like that. It was like
a large sum of money.
And I got the email, why have I been billed $7,000? I don't know. Anyway, let's go on
because I don't have it either. We need to fix this.
I can't help you in this situation. Alex Van Gene, who missed the Apex for you?
Who missed the Apex?
Yeah, who missed the bad award? Yeah.
The Mercedes strategy. They are responsible for sad George Russell on the podium today. I think if George had still done the strategy he wanted to and still got beaten by Lewis, he'd have been happier than he looked on the podium. But the strategy they ended up putting him on not only put him behind Lewis, but without the failure, put him behind Kimi too.
Yeah, absolutely. The strategy, the pit strategy and the pit wall, it was strange. It felt disconnected, almost like something, maybe there was a change of crew or they had substitutes in. It just did not feel like a coherent vision. And they were just completely outclassed and completely outboxed by the Ferrari pit wall. Alex, you do karting videos and occasionally, let's be honest, your content flip-flops, but I would like everyone to follow you. Not because of the quality of your content, which is varied.
No, since I started karting, my video content has got so much better because I found a better video editing tool and have had some assistance. So I think my video quality has got incredibly good.
Sure.
Unfortunately, because of life, I just haven't been karting at the moment. However, I have fallen in love again with iRacing. And the LMP2.
Me too. Absolutely. I'm back. I'm all in.
So are we doing the missed Apex stuff? And I will be streaming those. And I will also be doing the odd stream and making videos on IMSA for LMP2. So you can come and join me on those, comment along, and we'll have some fun.
Yeah. And look, when I say the quality,
Alex Van Gene Racing.
Yeah. It'll all be in the show notes. That's fine. But when I say quality varies, I mean, like, sometimes you don't post at all. Sometimes you decide, I need to post about gardening or whatever. But the quality
stop doing that. I don't do it anymore.
The quality of your content is not why people should follow you. They should follow you because you're a fantastic person. They need to follow your social media. You are warm, you are friendly, you are generous, and you are honestly just one of the loveliest people and funniest people that I've met. That's why they should follow you, even though your content is inconsistent and mid.
Inconsistent is the right word, but that's only because actually, hang on. Hopefully, if things go to plan and it's already the thing already exists, I actually might be back in GX for the rest of this season.
That's quite nice. We're going to go on to that's a karting series, by the way.
Yeah, GX UK.
We don't often have YouTube comments on. They are on trial behavior for certain kinds of shows. It won't be every show. Probe says, how come Joe Sayward hasn't been on for ages? I'll answer that question because I've been asked for it so much. And the answer is very, very simple. Joe Sayward is not interested in doing any more content with Missed Apex podcast. And so there will be no more content with Joe on Missed Apex. Hey, Matt, who missed the Apex for you?
Well, I think possibly Mercedes by letting their best strategist walk out the door to Williams.
Is that what happened?
That's what Mike Caulfield just said in our patron chat.
That
Which where
could be
can
a
people
secret.
become patrons, Spanners?
Patreon.com/Missed Apex. But don't give away that Mike said that. He might have been. Oh.
No, that's public knowledge
Mike,
that the strategist left.
Okay, fine.
Maybe the best thing could have been subjective. I don't know. I thought the best strategist left when Mike went to Haas. So
That's
true. That's me.
F1 lost. In fact, when they picked any strategist over Mike for TV broadcasts, I would say.
Bingo. Yeah, there you go. Mistakes were made.
Let's get Mike on. Let's get Mike on soon. So, who missed the Apex?
I would love to. I have many questions to ask him.
Have you done? Is that your award then?
No. That
Missed
was just, I saw it go by in chat and felt like it deserved a mention because we were talking about Mercedes strategy so much. There's a new team in charge is basically how I would translate that. It's the reliability of the Mercedes.
Yeah, it's bad.
Not just the customers, the actual Mercedes teams. And that is a really, really, really big apex to be missing when you have the kind of dominance early season that Mercedes shows right now. You can look at how close Hamilton is. Second place, not that far off Kimi. It's not going to be but another DNF or two. And this whole apple cart gets quite upset or excited if you're us about what happens the rest of the season. So yeah, I think Mercedes has some serious problems to fix at home.
My Missed Apex award is going to go to Isaac Hadjar. Oh, what a horror start. And it does look like Verstappen's won in Monaco. There was obviously some kind of technical issue. This just looks like too much loud pedal. Alex, I'll refer to you as driver expert adjacent.
He pressed the right pedal too hard, and the rear wheels went wee, and everyone else went wee, and he went oh.
And it's just like, oh, mate. So yeah, I mean, the start is a specific skill. It went wrong today. The only reason I would say like Missed Apex, it feels harsh, is that he wasted a good qualifying where he was pretty close to Verstappen. And so it's almost like the high of being close to Verstappen just negated in a moment. Lots of people have
evaporated instantly.
Yeah, lots of people have struggled starting this season. So it's a harsh one, but like you are in the hardest seat in the whole of Formula One. Your seat is. You have the biggest challenge. You've got the biggest no-win situation. And then I'll add to it and justify my Missed Apex by adding his fight with Lindblad and having Lindblad fight him to the death. It was Lindblad, wasn't it?
I don't know. I have a theory as why
Might have been, yeah.
So much wheel spin.
No, it was, yeah.
Oh, do the wheel spin one, yeah.
I have a theory as to why he got so much wheel spin. Because Red Bull have the most powerful ICE in the sport.
In history.
Just so much power.
So much power.
That it just spun up the rear wheel.
It's like a cheaty amount of power, really. They should get minus a duo. Where
I can't believe they're not winning every single race because they got the best driver in the world. They should be able to drag it to the front.
They should have to remove one cylinder, and only run with how many was it?
Ways to get Max to moan more.
Well, we have determined that they now have to have a V5. We're just going to remove one cylinder. But yeah, shades of Albon. They fight me so hard. Do you remember that? Albon complaining that the Alpha Tauri drivers, they fight me so hard. Yep, it's called a race car race, Alex. That's what it is. And but Lindblad, man, I know he's been a touch behind Lawson for the last couple of events, but that dude, like, if you go, okay, we have to go and attack the next village over, you can pick 4 F1 drivers to come with you. Lindblad is my number one pick. 100, like, he's got just a fighting spirit. Okay.
Yeah, he's a confident boy, isn't he?
Yes, the confidence is insane. And when I saw the F2 driver, the junior drivers in FP1, I sat and watched that whole session, and I watched it on Sky, and I know not everybody does watch the Sky broadcaster. Fred Vesti was talking on Sky about the simulation work that he does there. I saw clips. I've seen lots of clips. I think is it Paul Aaron? It's not a name like I really know, but then I look at him, and he looks like an MMA fighter / reality star, and you just go, oh. And then when he talks, you go, blimey. This new generation of drivers, they're like robots. Like, have you seen the film Soldier, Kurt Russell Soldier, 1995, from 1995? Okay. So Kurt Russell is picked there his regiment is picked from babies that are the most aggressive babies, and then they go and fight all like campaigns on Mars or whatever, and then they have biologically selected soldiers who are faster, stronger, fitter, and like usurp that next generation. This generation coming through is like they are biologically chosen to be the perfect media driving F1 team entity. And I think in about 4 or 5 years, we're going to see a big refresh of monsters, young monsters who are formidable entering the F1 space. And my experience of football as well is I got to like 37 and they keep making fresh 18-year-old monsters every single year. And it gets worse. Each batch is better than the last. I think that's what's going to happen in F1 very soon.
I'm looking at a picture of Paul Aaron. Yeah, he looks like he'll fight you.
Yeah, he will. And yeah,
he looks like his neck is as wide as his head.
He'd fight you nicely, I think, and he'd explain in detail why.
He's the guy that comes up to you after you've just tapped the rear of him that sent him slightly wide at karting and starts a fight. That's what he looks like. He might be lovely, but that's what he looks like. But no, and with the Fred Vesti thing, I love the Fred Vesti thing because I used to race with Fred Vesti during COVID in the iRacing F1 IGP series when they used to use the old McLaren, and he would absolutely annihilate everybody. I've got a really good video where I had a great race-long battle with a whole bunch of different people. And you just see Fred's number getting higher and higher and higher as he disappears more and more and more from the rest of the grid. And he did that all season.
So Fred Vesti subbed in for Lewis, right? Ferrari? No, who did he sub in for?
No, this weekend. No,
Mercedes.
Antonelli.
Listening to him, I'm like, oh, he's probably wasted as a driver. I think he should just go like team principal, just straight to team principal. He just spoke that. Is he German or like Dutch or something? Or is he?
Don't know.
Oh, someone look it up. Where's Fred Vesti from? Like, that guy sounds like so smart.
Fred Vesti, he is 24 years old.
Oh, that's quite old.
And
Where's
he is from...
I thought you were going to say French.
He's Danish.
He's got to be a kind of like posh Dane or something, because wasn't quite... He'll be a rich Dane who went to international school. There's a slight variation in his accent. Okay, anyway, right. So we now have to quickly fly around and do our thing of the weekend. Oh, that's just what we need. Another Dane in F1. How smug they were about Magnussen. Oh, look at our Viking driver. He's so great, and he just takes everyone out. He doesn't even need his front wing, so he can just leave his front wing just attached to other cars. It's perfect, Magnussen. Okay, anyway, thing of the weekend. Alex, who hit the apex for you?
Oh, I wonder. Lewis. Yeah, mate. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen. I expected him to get trumped again this whole season by Charles, but there's just been something that's happened to him with this new car, with the way he's got things going, and it is an absolute pleasure to see that he can still do it when everything falls into place for him. And when Martin Brundle said it in commentary that look at Lewis just leading the race. He's just doing Lewis things. They're things that Lewis does, and it's just like he's happy. He's happy. He's confident. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to lead a Grand Prix. It's like that's his happy place.
He was Lewising so much today. Matt, who hit the apex for you?
Well, the New York Knicks, of course, winning the NBA championship, because I've been trolling you about the World Championship thing the whole time. However, that said, not Lewis, but the team behind him. He went to his motorhome after FP3. The car was not perfect. He came back, and lo and behold, there it all was. We could give a shout out to Santi for figuring out how to communicate in Lewis speak so the two of them can get what they need to make the car go fast, which is what everybody wants. But yeah, it's so easy. And Drive to Survive, we all love it. But that is the tip of the iceberg. The drama lives behind the scenes in the factory, in the teams where they just look at each other and reams of data and go, how do we put this together? We know the answers here somewhere. Lewis has created the space, but he's found the people and they have figured it out. And the combination, the symbiotic combination of Lewis plus this team, I cannot wait to see what they get up to.
We know what happened. He was like, he said in the interview, he said, yeah, guys. So, yeah, I went back to my motorhome and Carlos Santi was there. And he said to me, he went, oh, Lewis, don't worry. You sit, you relax. I will sing you song. I will sing you song of my people. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. And Lewis like, oh, yeah, man, that's great. And magic happened. There was calm, there was chill. And Lewis Hamilton won the Barcelona Grand Prix. His third team that he's won a victory with. He's really good at race cars. He's the best one at racing. I'm the best one at the podcasting here on Mr. Apex. Follow me on Instagram, where you can hear me talking about squirrels periodically, and follow Mr. Apex on all the vertical scrolls as well. We will catch up on the stuff we've missed early in the week. Me and Alex really want to do how to drive a pretend F4 car segment as well. And remember to subscribe to Mr. Apex Motorsport, where we'll be doing very kind of casual stream hangouts as we do our F4 championship on iRacing. Until we see you next, work hard, be kind, and have fun. This was the Hamfosi Lewis Hamilton Celebration Victory Tour podcast. Wounds heal. Ladies have admiration for indications of past endeavor, and glory lasts forever.